So after
Which one did they go into?
bit of a delay, maybe 2 hours or so, we're finally through the Polish-Ukraine customs. We got through really quickly, but some poor teams have been slightly scuppered. There's a team with an ambulance and a team with a fire engine. They were asked for $10,000 to get through, and it wasn't clear whether this was a tax or a carnet de passage that they'll get when they get back, out through the other end of the country. And they wanted it in cash. So they're sitting it out, hoping that when the new shift comes on, the other staff won't be wanting to deal with it and we'll just pass them through. Some teams have bought their cars quite late, so they've got temporary V5 forms, and they're being asked for between €3,000 and €5,000. And again, we waited for them as long as we could, but they're still there. One option was they were going to go back into Poland and try and enter from a different border that might not have been so corrupt, if it is corruption. But now they've got their bit of paper stamps, they won't let them back into Poland, even though there's no legal reason to keep them. So they're kind of camping out. So hopefully they'll join us a bit later. We had the problem that Killian from John's team got homesick and he's left, so he's gone back to Ireland via Amsterdam, I think, and it transpired at the border that John's car is in Killian's name, so the documentation doesn't match, but oddly he still got through, but it may turn out to be a far bigger problem when we get to Russia. So there were two options. One is we so there are two options. One is what are the two options? I'm so tired. Yeah, I've remembered. So there are two options. One is we get Killian to transfer ownership to John and get the documents faxed to somewhere that we can pick them up from, but it may be that the Russians don't accept faxed copies and we need to get the original change of ownership sent, which I guess will be DHL to somewhere, which would cost a lot of money. So option two is Kieran's got some friends in the Ukraine, and one of them, who's a spy, may want the car, in which case John's happy to give the car to him, and then we'll try and put his roof rack or a part of it onto our Micra, get the seats put back in, he'll get rid of most of his stuff, we'll try and consolidate ours in some way, and then John will come in our car. So that's option two, and I think we're going to go for option two. That seems to be the plan. So we're going to head towards Kiev, and then from there we're going to go up to Kieran's friends. Kieran at the moment is trying to buy car insurance, which we need to travel through this country, so he's going to barter, or whatever you do with this stupid bit of paper that's not really worth the paper it's written on. Hopefully it won't be too expensive. He took a bundle of euros over with him. Yeah, so it's all, so far, so adventure. But yeah, we're not overly behind time. It's unbelievably hot still, and will only get hotter. But yeah, there seems to be quite a lot of shouting from the insurance office. It may be friendly shouting, it may be bartering. I don't know if there's just one insurance place and it has the monopoly and therefore you're screwed, or whether you can storm out and then go to another one and get a better price. It all seems very laborious to me. sure it's fine. Could be worse. We could be asking for £4,000 to get the car into the country. It's all been plain sailing so far. Here they come. Some of the rallies came past, they just got those for £11. Another team went in there, just pointed and gestured, £70. It's so random. So, I guess, you know, if you look confident and you know, you're slightly less likely to be stitched up, but £11 or £70. What an odd country. And we're not even a mile into it yet. Things can only get more interesting from this point on. So we were 3 seconds into the Ukraine when, having stopped for insurance, we were pulled over by the police who said no stopping. So it's not a bad scam that you have to stop to buy insurance, and when you stop they tell you you're not allowed to. But Kieran, you know, talked his way out of it, and then once we were through, he kind of waved everyone else through, and he just had this disappointed look on his face. So Kieran did well. So Mongol Rally 1, Ukrainian police 0. We just got a full tank of petrol. £10. Happy days. Petrol's going to get cheaper and cheaper from here on in. About time. It's cost a fortune through Europe. So we're going to wait for the others to get insurance, and then we're going to head up to some lakes where we can just, you know, get a bit clean. So we're going to get some cheap stuff while we're waiting. So far we've seen one policeman and there's a bastard. We've been into one shop. I got a drink and a lolly for £1. So it's all swings and roundabouts. It's got to be said, it's not a very nice lolly, but it's got air conditioning, and by God, it's lovely in there. I can't recommend air conditioning enough.